So, you've gone without beer and nights out for about 250 years and you've saved up about £30,000 for your dream car. You want a Porsche. What do? Do you go straight out and buy this? Your 30 grand will get you the basic Boxster, or do you be a bit more patient, wait another 50 years without beer and nights out and save up 36 and a bit thousand pounds for the Boxster S? Well, let's find out. There you go, little piggy. Settle in. Now, don't be a snob and dismiss this out of hand just because it is the entry level. Sure, it's the basic Porsche, but it is still a Porsche. And don't forget, it was upped. When they introduced the S last year, they actually upped the power output of this by about 20 brake horsepower and, more significantly, lowered the price by about 3 grand. So you've decided you can't wait a moment longer. You've got to blow your 31 grand and buy yourself the basic Boxster. What do you get? Is there actually a bargain Porsche? Well, don't forget, we are talking prestige marque here, so I think value for money is probably a better phrase. You get a reasonably powerful engine. There's not a lot there at low revs, but as soon as you get up to high, sort of 5.5 to 7,000 RPM, it starts to work quite hard, and more importantly, it sounds gorgeous, snarling away just behind my left ear. One thing it does that I particularly admire in any car is it's willing to flog itself to death. It'll rev and rev and rev. I think the closest thing to that was Dick Turpin's horse did something similar. I like a car that'll willingly rip itself to bits if you ask it to. Not that I will. It's still quite expensive. In case you're wondering about those all-important figures, by the way, 0 to 60 comes up in about the 6-second mark. Top speed, if you're feeling completely balmy on the autobahn, about 140 miles an hour. Thank you very much. So, where are we in our quest to find out whether this is just a budget Porsche or whether it really is something of a performance bargain? Well, sure, it's got nothing on a 911, but then what do you expect? It's about half the price. And if it had been around 5 years ago, what would the competition have been? Well, just the Mazda MX-5. That was about the only other roadster. But now it's a very different story. There's plenty in the same kind of league as the Boxster. This is what the trade refer to as a Christmas tree. It's a car with everything on it. It's had traction control added, those extra large alloys, electric seats and a fancy stereo. And let's be honest, when you buy a Porsche, very few people just buy the Porsche. They buy all the bits that go on it. If you bought all of these, well, you'd be spending more or less as much on your standard Boxster as you would to get a Boxster S. If it really was me who'd saved 30,000 for a Porsche, I think I'd hang on, save the extra 6 and buy the Boxster S. No, I wouldn't. Who am I trying to kid? Not in a million years. If I had 30,000 and I was itching to buy a Porsche, I'd buy a Porsche straight away. Ultimately though, whatever you decide, it's always going to have one thing that none of the others have got, and that really only that amount of money can buy, and that's the badge. And that is special.